Coming up on the next episode of Zuzu All Grown Up.
Today we meet Kathy Tarochione, founder of the Golden Life community and creator of the Dog Connection Show. After facing a life-altering diagnosis, she built a movement to empower women through connection, compassion, and even canine companionship.
Look, Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
You're now listening to Zuzu All Grown Up.
She's been featured in more than 20 films from the early days of film and television.
He is a psychotherapist and her loving husband.
Together, they are on a mission to brighten your day and your life.
It's a time to smile, a time to laugh, a time to expect more.
It's time to get inspired with your hosts, Karolyn Grimes and Dr. Brunell.
It's time to meet Zuzu, all grown up.
Do you believe that life is wonderful in principle, but for some reason just isn't so consistently in practice? Every life will have its ups and downs. But have you ever thought that if there were only more people around you encouraging, uplifting, and even inspiring you, then life would be more fulfilling? If only people like George and Mary Bailey were in your inner circle, then life could truly be wonderful all the time? If so, we've got good news for you, because you can find such people on this podcast and at zuzunetwork.com. This podcast is the vision of Karolyn Grimes, Zuzu, and Dr. Brunell, illustrating how the timeless message of It's a Wonderful Life can be and is applied to our modern lives and situations. Indeed, when you take that message to heart, your life will become immeasurably more wonderful. Visit us at zuzunetwork.com and listen to this podcast series to learn more about how. Now sit back, relax, and get ready to enjoy another episode of Zuzu, All Grown Up.
Get ready for miracles. Get ready for Zuzu, All Grown Up.
Kathy Tarochione is living proof that it's never too late to reinvent your life. Faced with a daunting diagnosis, she chose connection over isolation, building a vibrant community for women over 55, and blending it with her love for dogs and storytelling. Today, she shares how simply showing up for yourself and others can change everything. Karolyn, Dr. Chris, I know you're eager to dive in. Over to you.
Today we have a very beautiful woman to interview. Kathy is the founder of the Golden Life community and Picture to Moment Pet Productions, creator of the Pet Media Production Company, the Dog Connection Show. She's a storyteller. She's a very versatile lady, I think. So I'm so glad we get to meet her today, and I hope that you will enjoy sharing some stories with us.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm really delighted to be here. The Golden Life community, it's a community for lifestyle empowerment organization for mature women. Mm-hmm. It's based on my own personal experiences of being an older woman, being a widow, being disabled, and what kind of support that women need. Being an older woman, there's so many things that have happened to us, and we realize that, or in my case, I was given a life sentence about 2 years ago and told to put my affairs in order. I was in the hospital. I had a lot of setbacks. I had a small little group of women, about 300, and we were just talking about, life in general. And when I got sick, I ended up in the hospital. So I decided I was going to do a Facebook video, just a short one, telling them that I haven't croaked yet, but who knows, I may croak any minute. And I made it very light. Well, it was only on Facebook, and it was only for 5 minutes, but I got over 100,000 views on it and over 2,000 women that had commented and said, "Oh my God, do we need what you're talking about?" Because basically, Karolyn, what I said to them is this, and I know you're going to relate to it. Girls, put on your big girl panties. realize that you are at an age now where you've got to take responsibility for your own care. You can't depend on anybody else to do that. You give it all over to the doctors. You believe in what they say. You take the medication that they tell you to take, and then you end up depressed. And you end up alone and you end up lonely. So isn't it better for you to start getting together? And why don't we join together and let's support each other? And then the operative word was, what is support? Well, some people say support is where you're going to give information. And see, to me, here's what support means. You show up. When something happens, if I have a problem, I want my friends to show up. They don't have to do anything. They don't have to fix me. They don't have to do anything for me. They just have to be there and listen and give me that hug that I need. That's what I consider, that's what support is. So with these women, we decided to develop this organization, and I incorporated in 2022, and it has grown, and we've got about 3,000 members now. And these women, what we do, Karolyn, you'll love this. We meet inside the community, but then also we invite women outside the community, and we say to them, come and talk with us in a private space and talk to us about the things that you haven't talked to anybody else about because you've been too afraid. You've been worried about judgment. And what happened, it's like a magical place. These women come in and they've all got something to talk about. We created an actual space in our private community just for members so they could carry it a little bit further and start interacting. And then we created, which is my favorite part, which we call the Mudroom. I don't know if you know Simon Sinek.
No.
Okay. Well, Simon says this: if you have a friend who is sitting in the mud because they are depressed and they don't know what to do and they're anxious, you have two choices as a friend. You can either walk away, or if you are truly a good friend, you will sit in the mud with them, even though it's uncomfortable, for as long as it takes in silence. Mm-hmm. So that's where we created the Mudroom. And what women do is when they come in, let's say they've got something really, really upsetting, and it might be 3:00 in the morning. They come into the Mudroom. Everyone in the community gets notified. Somebody in the Mudroom needs help, and we can come in and we say nothing. We just listen. And we let you talk for 8 to 10 minutes about what is bothering you. And it's amazing, amazing how these women, they cry, they carry on, and then they finally say, whew, I feel better. They shake it off and they feel better. So the purpose of the Golden Life community, in essence, it's a mental strength community that helps women that are going through depression, anxiety, going through a time in their life where they may have been diagnosed by a professional that they've got some kind of disorder. But do they really? Let's examine that. If you really think about when you go to a psychiatrist or a psychologist, what do? You sit there and you tell your story, and the therapist sits there and goes, and then they give you a pill. Well, in this case, the pill, there is no pill with us. It's the support that you receive from the women. We're saying to women, don't take that pill. Don't take that diagnosis. Find out from other women what the therapy is, and the solution is to hear their story too. And if we share that story, isn't that a wonderful thing? So in the community, we have the reason that the dogs are involved and why dogs are so important is I have been a dog lover and a dog advocate for 58 years. An animal advocate, I should say, not necessarily dogs, but I chose dogs as the animal of choice for an older woman because they can perform services. They can do things that can help women in terms of balance and things like that. I'm a cat lover, I'm a rabbit lover, I'm a horse lover, but dogs are the ones that seem to be able to really help. In 2012, I created the Dog Connection Show. We teach people how to learn from your dog to have a better life, because from their perspective, they're loyal, they're private, they're quiet, they don't judge, they're exactly the type of being that you would want in the mudroom with you because they show up. They're always there for you no matter what. So the two have combined together, and we recently had an acquisition where the Golden Life community has purchased Picture a Moment Pet Productions, the Dog Connection Show. And now the show is dedicated to identifying how to age with your pets. When a pet gets older, learning certain signs, just like the pet has always been there for you every time you've had a problem. You can have feeling down and all of a sudden they're right by your side and they're there to give you that love and that affection and everything that you need. So it goes hand in hand together. So that's how the two are combined together. And the whole purpose is to be able to create mental strength. Older women, mature women need that strength because we've lost it. We've lost it. We've given up and we sit back and we feel the aches and pains and everything else. But wouldn't it be nice if we had other women that we can support? So that's my story, and I'm sticking with it.
I work with elderly people, and I think that one of the things I find from women is that they've been giving of themselves their whole lives. They're housekeepers, they were wives, they were taking care of their kids and everybody for that matter. Or, that's kind of like a social role that is kind of established for young girls throughout their lives. But as they get older, there's a sense of, who am I now? Where do I go from here?
What's going to happen to me?
Yeah. And I think that what you're creating here is there's a lot of wisdom in being able to be there for one another. I think that is powerful. But also, I think that sometimes we do need the help of a psychologist because there are some complications sometimes that we need beyond just, being able to have a support system.
Exactly. Well, we've created what's called the Golden Genius Assessment, and that's, you might know him, Dr. Tom Myers. He's a psychologist as well. He's one of the first ones that will advocate what I'm talking about when I say the stereotype of treatment is listen to the story, come up with a solution, and then, if necessary, provide medication. The only thing that we're trying to prevent at this point is stop the medication for now, try this instead, and have psychologists, psychiatrists, therapists recommend for women to come to the Golden Connections. Try this first before you put the patient on medication. So we're working with insurance companies right now, especially for the Medicare Advantage program, and we're asking them to use this as an overlay plan onto their existing plans. So we have the endorsement of many of the healthcare professionals that are coming forward and saying, we love that. We don't really want to prescribe medication, but if we don't have a solution and they need something right away, we're going to do that. But what if you didn't have to do that? Yeah. What if you had the ability to say, you know what, why don't you try this first? Try it for 30 days, see how it works. Especially what if your insurance company was going to pay for it?
I think that this is beautiful, especially with that added dimension of having like dogs, a companion, someone that you can love.
We do have a vision of having the golden spaces where a natural transition of women that are in the virtual community will want to find a place to live, because the question is, where is mom going to go? Where is she going to go to? Dad just died. We don't want her here. Where is she going to go to? And she has a choice. She can live where she's at. She can bring in somebody as a roommate, or she can go and live in a condo. She can go to a 55 plus community. She has these different options, but who's going to be there for her? What about me? She's been so used to taking care of everyone else and being the matriarch. Now is the time where she's saying, well, what about me? Who's going to take care of me? I need support. So wouldn't it be natural to be in a golden space where you have women that are surrounding you, that when you do need that help? And you can't do that in a 55 plus community. And the other thing you can't do, and pardon me for saying this, you can't do it when other men are around, because when men are around, women are different. Women do not act the same when men are around. Jealousies enter into it, but when they're around other women, they could care less. Don't get me wrong, though. There are many men that have come forward and said, well, what about us? And we already have plans for the Golden Guys community.
Oh, how great.
So does that mean that guys are going to be taking care of us?
Well, what that means is that you got a buddy and you're the buddy right now. But let's say you end up in a place, you want to be around women. And I get that, because men want to be around women. And women want to be around men, but not when it comes to their personal issues. Their personal issues are theirs. They're sacred. There's something they don't want anybody to know about. There's a privacy element that says we hide behind kind of like this facade where we say, I have to be strong. I have to be strong for him. I was that way with my husband. I took care of him for 5 years before he passed, and I chose to do that. I closed my business, brought my business into the home so I could be the caretaker. We were together 24/7. It was the best journey I ever had. I loved being with him, and he's the only person that I really was able to let my hair down. But it wasn't until he had that death sentence. Isn't that odd? Once I knew that he was in that position.
He was vulnerable.
Yes. Yes. And therefore I felt, okay, I can tell him, because even though I was married to him for a long time, he let his hair down. He let everything go. And that's what women do. And so it's a beautiful experience, no matter how you look at it. It's just magnificent.
We'll join Karolyn and Chris in just a moment with more of Zuzu All Grown Up.
First, an important message.
Start your morning right with premium coffee roasts available at ZuzuNetwork.com and drink them in your Zuzu All Grown Up coffee mug. Also perfect for tea and hot chocolate.
Stay inspired throughout the day with the same gratitude journal used by Karolyn and Chris, and check out t-shirts, hats, books, Christmas keepsakes, and more at ZuzuNetwork.com/shop.
Join Zuzu's network today at ZuzuNetwork.com/join.
Karolyn is creating an international network of aspiring angels, everyday people who believe that they can help make the world a better place by making life better for even just one other person.
Let us know you want to earn your wings at ZuzuNetwork.com/join, and Karolyn and Chris will send you inspirational material to support you in your journey.
We're back with more Zuzu All Grown Up.
We are creating this, and I want to call it a movement, because these women are so empowered, and women that had a passion for a long period of time, and then they gave up on it. They got married, they had their careers, they did whatever, but they may have had that dream. We're saying to them, that dream you had, what's the matter? Why? Maybe you can get it done. Maybe you can have that dream come true now. Let's talk about it. And here's how we're doing that. We're saying to them, through this Golden Genius assessment, what we do is, through Dr. Myers, we measure their strengths, and then we measure their types of personalities, and then we measure the synchronicities. And with those synchronicities, which many people know as manifestations, if they can continue to support knowing how to manifest in your life through energy and creating good energy, through that, then we link them with other women who have similar strengths, and therefore you support that mental strength aspect. And we say to them, okay, now that you've connected together, and you connected personality-wise, and you've connected on a mental strength basis and also on a synchronicity basis, how about we collaborate and we co-create? So let's co-create within the community. Let's say, for instance, right now I'm a widow, and there's other widows. And we form a brainstorming session, and we say, okay, what do we want to create? So we decided, okay, we're going to create a book called The Resilient Widow. So that's through co-creation. Once we complete that book, then they share in the revenue. So it becomes an income stream for them. Well, what woman, not that she needs the money, some do, some don't, but the idea that they created something from nothing. It started with the blank sheet of paper. So there's a certain element of accomplishment that occurs. And then, of course, if they want the revenue or they want the income, they can keep that, or they can donate it, whatever they prefer. But that's the model. So it's a connection platform that is for the purpose of increasing skill sets. First off, communication skills, because older women lose their communication skills after a certain period of time. They no longer are talking to their family. They're no longer talking to anyone. They're trying to, but they're not doing too good. And then that irritability enters into it, because they become judgmental. They watch TV and they watch the news, and it just sends them into a spiral, because they get angry over things they can't control. And one thing leads to another, and before you know it, they're in this tizzy over this one did that and this one did that, and how dare they, and they're living in that anger along with, and they can't control any of it. So they sit back and, wow, wouldn't it be better to just, that's not your world. That is not your world. You're responsible for it and you live in it, but you can make your world as your responsibility to make a better world for yourself and for others around you. So that's what we're inviting them to do. And we don't force them. We invite them to come in and participate and collaborate, The other section is, some have said to us, well, why did you choose 55 and older? Well, 55, that's when women are postmenopausal. They've gotten over the crazies of the hormonal changes. The kids are gone. Now they only have to work with the grandchildren and they go home. So the husband is now going out and playing golf and doing whatever, and she's kind of home alone, or she's decided to continue to work and she's doing some really great things in the community, or she's doing nothing. But regardless, she's no longer the matriarch. So we're saying to them, why don't you come back as the matriarch, but make yourself a matriarch of other women so that you can help to service them. If you're feeling that you have nothing in common with an 80-year-old and you're 55, yes, you do. You've got your mother. So now let's look at what your mother is at. And if you don't see yourself in your mother, then you should. So you should have a golden life plan in place that helps you to know what you're going to go through. And you should be wanting to leave a legacy for your daughters and your granddaughters as well. Put your mother in a position where you can feel proud of her. The Golden Spaces is really a legacy housing membership where the housing is being left to the females of the family as beneficiaries, so it can be carried down to generation.
About the dogs, how do you envision these two aspects coming together to support women? I mean, do you recommend they get a dog, or how does that work?
Well, I think it doesn't have to be a dog. It could be a cat. It could be any pet. There is a certain amount of comfort and support for women that understand how to connect with an animal. If they don't connect with an animal and they just have it as a pet, then a dog is a dog is a dog. But if they learn how to understand that that animal is a gift that they have been given, and that gift has been here and has qualities that you might not even recognize. So what we do is we allow them to understand and age with the animal to know what this gift is that they can give to you. If you decide that you want to foster, you want to adopt, you want to just have one around for somebody that's going on vacation. So what we've done is we've created a relationship with rescues. We got 18 people on our team. Many of them are dog therapists and one's the cognitive therapy. And they're working with organizations to provide payment for anyone that adopts an adult dog, not a cat at this point, but an adult dog, adopts one, or they will pay for all the food and all the medical care until that animal demise. So that takes away the barrier of, I can't afford to take care of it. But then there are those, what we see the dog as, that companion. There's something about when you rub the fur, it's been proven, and I'm sure you already know this, that psychologically, the comfort level and the ease of stress occurs when you touch an animal. And they can do that instinctively just by being there. And they know when you're stressful, so they're going to come by you when you need that care. They absolutely are the most brightest. They know when to do that. But if you're not connected to that dog will be aloof. The cat will be aloof. The cat will go and hide. They don't want to have a part of you because you haven't connected with them yet. So it's our position to say, learn how to get that connection. I have an 18-year-old Lhasa Apso mix. His name is Charlie. He's somewhat blind. He can't hear very well, and he's got a lot of tags and tumors and everything around him, but he's like Velcro. And he's actually our Canine Community Report. I'm an animation specialist, so I animate him, and we do on our Dog Connection show. He does part of it. He does the Canine News part, and he talks about how he takes care of me because I'm old and I forget. And I do these things. So he tells me about that. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be where I'm at today because he's the savior of me. So we make it very comical in that. But there's some truth to that. I've taken the time to learn who he is and what his needs are. And he instinctively knew how to take care of Mom. But I didn't know how to take care of him unless I knew how to do that from the heart level. So isn't that a wonderful thing? And there's some women that don't want a dog in their life. And we understand that, but I can say that on our Dog Connection TV, cumulatively, we've got about 500,000 fans, and we reach about 6 million people a month. And 87% of the audience is women over 55. So now we decided we're just going to cater to them. That's why the acquisition came between the two companies. It just makes perfect sense to be the natural transition of the show. And that's where we're at with it. So does a woman need a dog? If she wants to have a companion that is not going to give her any grief, that she doesn't have to worry about, that will be there when she needs, then of course. But then there are those that can't have a dog. They might be allergic, but they love them. Or they might be at a position in their life where all of a sudden they're having some cognitive issues, or they're not able to mobily go out and take the dog out, etc. Since 2017, I've been associated with a man by the name of Tom Stevens, who owns Tombot. And Tombot is a scientific, emotional, and social support dog named Jenny, and she's a robot. She's been in production all this time. She's gone through many different stages, but if you touch her, she feels like a dog. But more importantly, she's got knowledge base of being able to support any person with dementia and Alzheimer's. So the insurance companies are really supportive of this, and particularly in the memory care units, they're really looking at it very strongly. So they're looking to buy them in big lots, and then they'll license them to the patients. So it will be a support for them. But where the Golden Life community comes in is we have partnered with Tombot. And full disclosure, I'm also an investor in Tombot. We become a partner with them. And where we're coming at is right now, Jenny is programmed to be able to support dementia and Alzheimer's. But we came to them and said, what if you were to program her to support depression, anxiety, and loneliness? So that knowledge base is now being programmed into her, and we have been commissioned to be able to do a case study based on cognitive females. How would they use it? How would they want to use it? That's the gap. That's for those that can't take care of a dog anymore, but yet they want one. So that's where that comes in. So we've come a long way. And the fun thing is about Jenny is she's got some AI in her right now, but in a couple of years, the goal is that she will be walking. She will be a walking dog, and then she will be a support dog.
So how much would something like that run?
About $1,500 is what it runs, and that would be retail for it. But the actual, what they're looking to do is create a licensing arrangement. So because Jenny is non-gender, so you can call her whatever you want, and she's non-gender, and she also can be programmed for more than one person. See, she's going to go to Mary's house today, and she's going to spend some time with Mary, because you don't necessarily need to have her there all the time, just during times of needing companionship when you don't have any cognitive issues. And then she would come in, and then she would be leased. But the hope is that if Jenny is put into a golden space, we can then be able to add on a module in our building process to add in a CCRP, a continuing care retirement community module, which says that for those that have cognitive issues, we can keep them in place instead of putting them into a memory care unit with the help of Jenny. That's the goal. That's how the mesh comes in there.
So can you tell us a story maybe from the Dog Connection show where a pet actually helped their owner through a difficult time?
Oh my gosh. Yes, this is a true case story.
We'll join Karolyn and Chris in just a moment with more of Zuzu All Grown Up.
First, an important message.
To find out more about the organization featured in today's episode or a previous episode, and to learn more about how you can help, go to zuzunetwork.com/beanangel.
Out here in the middle of all these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on Earth. And sometimes, that's how it feels when you're going through tough times. Trouble sleeping, your mind racing. So what do? We get help. There are people in our community who are here for us. Sometimes, just talking to someone can make all the difference in the world. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Have you heard? Affordable healthcare is better than ever. And right now there are more carriers and plans to choose from. If you're between 18 and 64 years old with a household income of $25,000 or less, this message is for you. Right now, the government's Affordable Care Act is available for individual and family health coverage plans with little to no cost to you. Don't gamble your health. Call Health Care for All. 70% of callers qualify for a zero-cost healthcare coverage. See if you are one of them. Call now. Our agents are standing by to help you get the health insurance plan you and your family needs and deserves. If you're uninsured or struggling to afford your current health insurance, help is just a phone call away. This is not Medicaid or Medicare. This is the marketplace with the largest selection of healthcare plans from the Affordable Care Act. To find a plan that's right for you, call 800-788-2406. That's 800-788-2406.
A careless driver can change your life in an instant. Do you know what to do or who to call? If you've been injured in a motor vehicle accident and don't have an attorney, call Auto Accident Help Desk for a free consultation. We can answer all of your questions and estimate the potential value of your case. Call Auto Accident Help Desk and connect with an expert personal injury attorney.
Call 800-348-7312. 800-348-7312.
Don't worry how to handle your medical bills, lost wages, and pain. We will get you the money you deserve.
They got me way more than the insurance company offered.
The consultation is free, and you don't pay any legal fees unless we win or settle your case. Make the smart call if you've been injured in an auto accident. Call Auto Accident Help Desk for a free legal consultation.
Call 800-348-7312. 800-348-7312. 800-348-7312.
Auto Accident Help Desk.
Zuzu's book club features recommendations from Zuzu herself on books she loves and thinks you will love also. All of the books that the club reads, fiction and nonfiction, are inspirational and uplifting. Folks, this is a life-enhancing club to be part of. You can sign up for free at zuzunetwork.com/book club. That's zuzunetwork.com/book club.
This is Zuzu, all grown up.
When I started the Dog Connection show, which was in 2012, and that's when it was live, there was a woman that came on. She contacted us, put it on social media, that she was going to take her life and she didn't know what to do with her dog. So I took it upon myself to take her off of social media and deal with her personally, because that was not a public issue. And I said to her, why don't we work together on this? Because I don't think you realize the value of your dog and how your dog can help you through the depression and the problems that you're going through right now. She had gone through a number of psychiatrists. She was on all different kinds of medications. Nothing was helping her. She was bound and determined that her life was over and it was all, for naught. And through identifying to her that all you have to do is just daily, let's just pet your dog, look your dog in the eyes, and then learn how to start connecting. So I brought in a cognitive behavior therapist for dogs that observed the two of them together. And he was able to identify to her, look at how your dog is reacting when you do this. Look at how your dog is reacting when you do that. And before you know it, she started getting closer and closer to connecting with that dog. And then when she got her first lick from the dog, because every time she went to go and give the dog a kiss before that, the dog turned his head. But now the dog actually licked her, and it was like, oh my gosh, now I'm connecting with this dog. With her connecting with that dog, not only did she not take her own life, but she then turned around and she got that dog certified to be a therapy dog in hospitals and helping other people with suicide. And the other thing we do with the Dog Connection is we help people. There's something about when you go and you adopt a dog and you expect that dog to know everything as soon as you bring him into your house. They should know that they're not supposed to pee, they're not supposed to poop, they're not supposed to chew anything, they're not supposed to do that. So that's when the hitting comes in. That's when let's do all of these things because they should know what to do. So instead, what we've said to them is it's just like a child. You have to teach the child, and you know your child, but do you know your child? Have you taken the time to even learn your child? Do you know who your child really is? You think you do, but do you really? So we teach them, learn what your dog is, show your dog, and let your dog show you. If your dog goes to the door, then you acknowledge it and you say, do you want to go outside? And you show them what outside means. And then they cause and effect, association, etc. And that's how they start to learn, just like a child learns. If we teach them that, then they become good. So that's the things that we've done. So what in doing that, we were able to help reduce people from bringing their dogs back to the shelter or back to the rescue because they felt that the dog had pooped or peed or whatever. We say that just acknowledge that as soon as you bring the dog home, it's going to poop and pee in the house, period. Get that out of the way. Going to be done. That's going to happen. So now, next, let's go on to the next level. So those are the two things that were really, really very beneficial in the dog connection. So of course you could tell him I was a huge animal lover.
So how do you recruit interested individuals to join? And is there a membership fee?
No, there's no membership fee. And we just opened up for a request to join. Up until that point, it's been private because each of the women that have come in for the purpose of help building it and growing it. Mm-hmm. So now the request to join, rather than saying that it's free, because it isn't really free. What we're saying is if you want to, and we invite you to come in and you can request, but in return, we want you to show up. We don't want you to come in and then be absent and then we never hear from you again. Either you're coming in and you're going to show up and you're going to interact and you're going to get to know these other women and you're going to see what you could do to help yourself. And if you're willing to do that, then we want you to come in. Unlike other communities where you go into a community, you sign up, it's for free. You come in, once in a while you go and you take a look, and most of the time you go to them and you don't have any idea what's going on in them. You don't know how to navigate it. It's very confusing. And you go to it and it's like, what's in it for me? That's what they go there for. What's in it for me? What have you got for me today that is going to make me feel better? Whereas where we're coming from is, oh, here's what I can contribute today. I'm anxious to get into the community so that I can let the women know this is what I've got and here's what I can do and here's how I can contribute.
How can women contact you?
thegoldenlifecommunity.com.
Lastly, what message would you like to send to all women listening today who might be struggling with loneliness?
You don't have to be alone. You don't have to be lonely. You may live alone, but you don't have to be alone. You can have a virtual hug. You can associate with women virtually. We have been given a gift by having what we're doing right now, having the ability to be able to communicate in a way that we never have been able to when we were growing up. Karolyn, you know that.
Right, that's right.
You know, and we may have had the phone, but it was a party line.
Yes.
And we had to share it. The beauty of being able to see that person's expression, if that person is in tears, you can see them over the internet and you can start crying with them because you can feel the emotions through the energy that is created through having a Zoom call, through having a virtual experience. So I would say to women that you don't have to. If you don't have the technical skills, we'll teach you how to do it. But for God's sake, have your family buy you an iPad or you have an iPhone or get a computer or something. Get with it. Get into an age where you can be part of everything. It's fun and it's engaging. It makes you want to do something instead of sitting at home, not taking a bath or a shower for 3 or 4 days because nobody cares and it doesn't matter, or your house is a mess or all that, and you become lazy and then you start gaining weight and you start thinking about, oh, I don't want to take care of myself. And then that depression enters into it. And then before you know it, it's, oh, woe is me. Nobody loves me. And I'm totally forgotten. Wouldn't it be nice if you were so active that you could say to them, I'm sorry, honey, I can't see you today. I'm busy with the Goldens in my community. Doesn't that sound like more fun? Let's get active. Let's get doing things. It doesn't have to be a life sentence. It doesn't have to be. And you are now at the beginning of your golden years. You're at the beginning of a wonderful time. And what is retirement? Retirement is not sitting around and eating bonbons and watching TV or going on trips and playing golf. It's a time for you to be free to do whatever you want to do. And if you can't afford it because you're on Social Security and all of that, I get that. And you might still have to have a job and then you resent all that. But then when you come home at the end of the day, make it a habit to be part of the connection, be part of something.
Well, Kathy, I must say you contributed a lot to a lot of people who I'm sure are going to be helped certainly by the words you've given us today. And I appreciate so much you joining us and sharing hope for ladies like us.
It's right. Yeah. Well, let me ask you your experience now. There are times, even though you're married, you're still lonely.
Yes.
Okay. Because there's a certain part that just isn't filled. Just like the same with you, Chris. There's a certain part that isn't filled with you too, so you have to get that from other men or, some other friendships. And we all do that. So we're just saying right now, you've missed that. You probably may not have even ever had a sisterhood. But if you did have a sisterhood, a lot of them have passed already.
Yes, that's what has happened in my world.
And when they pass, you think, I can never replace that friend because I had 27 years, I had 50 years, I had 40 years with my best friend, and I watched her pass and I went through all the trials with her. I'll never be able to have that again. But maybe turn it around and say, well, you know what? Based on all the things that I've done and all the things I've been through, you know what? I've got the wisdom that I can contribute to help these other women so that when they go through it, I'll be there to support them.
I hope that this movement continues to grow and because it's so much needed. And actually, it would be helpful for men too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's something about developing a business at 78, disabled, on my last leg, so to speak, because I was given that life sentence. Who does that? It's because of passion. Older women lead with passion. And wouldn't it be great if we took those things that we always wanted to do? I mean, my dreams are coming true now. The manifestation that has been coming forward has been phenomenal, and I'm grateful for it every day. I live in gratitude because there's something about when you're given this put your affairs in order system where all of a sudden it was like, whoo, really? It was like something was taken off of my shoulders and I was able to think, well, you know what? I'm kind of glad. And now when I went to my doctor yesterday, I'm in better shape now than I was 2 years ago. And it was supposed to be vice versa. It was going to be this decline. She goes into palliative care and then into hospice and all of that. And I have self-healed myself. And a lot of people probably don't want to believe that, but it's because I have learned now through the grace of these women that what thoughts I have turned into emotions, and those emotions have what made me sick. I used to be able to, every time somebody would irritate me or something would happen or some catastrophe, I would get that stomach ache and then that headache and then I'd get that congestion. Before you knew it, I have 104 temperature and then I'm at the doctor and then I got to spend money and then that's another financial thing. So all these stresses come in. And then I'm thinking to myself, I caused this. I did this to myself. I manifested this illness. Well, if I can do that, then I certainly should be able to heal myself. So why don't we reverse that and reverse that thinking and say, okay, when that thought comes into my mind, if that person is a person that was so negative that I couldn't deal with them, why are they in my life? So you start challenging yourself and you start identifying, do I really want this person in my life? I want to know that I have somebody that is there for me now. I've been there for everybody else all my life. I want somebody there for me now.
Thank you for being with us today.
Yes, but thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Namaste, my dear friends.
Namaste to you.
Thank you.
Today's guest reminds us that the golden years are not a closing chapter. They're an invitation to connect, to give, to receive, and to step into the wisdom we've earned. Whether you're facing loneliness, caregiving, widowhood, or simply asking, what now? Kathy's message is clear. You are not alone and you still have so much to give. I'm Seth Kennedy. Thanks for listening to Zuzu, all grown up. We'll see you next time.
Do you know someone who is earning their wings? Someone practicing kindness and service to others? Perhaps an organization or initiative helping make the world we live in a kinder, sweeter place.
Or maybe you've witnessed the miraculous, the divine, the magnificent in some way in your life, and you'd like to share it with others. Go to zuzunetwork.com/tellmystory and let us know more.
You may end up being featured on an upcoming episode of Zuzu All Grown Up. That's zuzunetwork.com/tellmystory.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Zuzu All Grown Up.
We hope you've been inspired to live your most wonderful life now and to help those around you do the same.
Remember, no matter what you're going through, no matter who you are, there are people who care about you and your life makes a difference.
It is a wonderful life.
Check out zuzunetwork.com for more on today's and other episodes, including transcripts and merchandise you won't want to be without.
New episodes are coming soon.
For transcripts of today's broadcast, go to zuzunetwork.com/transcripts.
Watch a video clip of today's episode at www.instagram.com/Zuzu, all grown up. Then click on the Reels tab from the top of the center of the page. Catch up on past episodes and discover currently premiering and upcoming episodes as well, and get helpful links and exclusive clips from our recordings. That's www.instagram.com/Zuzu, all grown up.
Zuzu All Grown Up with your hosts Karolyn Grimes and Dr. Chris Brunell.
Announcer and guide Seth Kennedy.
Executive producer Kevin R. Stillmock.
Coordinating producer Holly Ann Way.
Technical producer Stella Joelle.
Managing producer Karina Filatova. A Wonderful Land production.
In collaboration with Radio Wonderful.